All right, let's see how we can use the bend curve modifier to create these individual ropes. I have this spare single straight thread that was created. And let me first talk about the bend curve modifier. You want to make sure that your gizmo that you have is fairly centered onto the object. And then you can go to this gear icon over here and select bend curve. And you can see that it creates settings or gizmos over here. We have this orange cone over here on the top. When you increase it, you can see it increases the amount of points you get with the bend curve. So now that we have these points added, we can select each of these points and move them around. We can also rotate them using this orange cone again. Once you click a point, it kind of highlights all the possible options where you're able to rotate it. You're able to thicken it up. You're also able to thin it, right? With these controls. And by adding and removing pins, we are able to start using them. So let me go to the slower part and first quickly place this. Let's redo that and get this somewhere lined up on the top of the drum. Press W to get this, and then we'll start with less points rather than starting with more. Imagine with poly modeling or sculpting, you always want to start with less and then slowly add points, because the more points you start with, the more control you lose. Now I feel that I need to add more points. I'll just go in over here and increase the number of points, and then I'm able to wrap this around a little bit more efficiently. So now we have this rope kind of fairly wrapped around the drum. But you might think, okay, for something cylindrical or round like this, we could have used other modifiers. But the beauty of this particular modifier is we can duplicate the subtool, push it down, and the thing is, it preserves all your curve points, as you can see, right? And you can go in, go out, and then tweak again. This kind of makes your process of placing these curves relatively fast. Now let's try to get one of these thread in the middle. Now that we have the basic shape over here, I can add more points and start getting that nice sense of tightness around this rope as it wraps to the rope above and below. And it kind of preserves these points as long as we don't go and start manually using the move brush to change the overall setting. It'll preserve these points or preserve these curve guides, which is where the power of these this modifier lies. As I mentioned, we can take these areas, rotate them to get some more variation around, and slowly layer these up until a point where we are able to get something which is relatively complex looking, and add knots to kind of hide some of the seams and to get some more blending in place, right? I hope this demonstration was helpful. Thank you. Bye-bye.